There's a... My sister asked me this. I said to my sister, that's right, some time ago, I said, no good deed goes unpunished. And she hadn't heard that expression, which I found really interesting. Just hadn't come across it. I kind of felt what it was, but I couldn't express it at the time. It took a little while for it to sort of... I kind of felt what it was about, but I couldn't put it into words. It took a little while for it to percolate, and I was doing something the other day, and it was so clear that, no good deed goes unpunished. The simple explanation is you do things for people and something backfires and you get punished for it. Perhaps you're helping an old lady across the road or an old man, and they accuse you of assault for holding their arm, for touching them. Or you're driving and, you let someone in traffic and they beep you for being a bad driver because you're going too slowly. But that's just really simple ideas. It's more about, you can really try to help someone just from whatever motivates that in the person. There's a wide range of motivations for that. But you don't expect the result that comes. You expect a good thing to happen if you do something good for someone else. That's what usually is the idea. But no good deed goes unpunished. At a much deeper level is almost like a reminder that if you are performing a good deed and there is attachment to outcome, or you're expecting, if you let someone in traffic, they wave and say thank you, whatever it is. And when that doesn't happen, there's like, oh, that's not right. They should have acknowledged I did a nice thing for them and they didn't even appreciate it. In fact, it backfired on me. That's no good. And there's suffering. And it sort of reminded me of, when I was going through a lot of different stages of letting go in meditation. And I used to meditate, and maybe after an hour, I remember there was this feeling of complete letting go, and there was an energetic shift in the body. I used to call it the bliss bubble, because it was like going over the top of a roller coaster and everything would release, and it was just such a blissful feeling. And of course, you want that. The mind wants that all the time because it's such a beautiful feeling and it's an energetic release. And there's a long journey with that. But I remember meditating, and I'd be meditating and I'd feel that change coming, and the mind would go, oh good, let's do this better and harder, or concentrate more, so that oh, here it comes, I can feel this change coming, this is going to be really nice. And the moment that happens, the moment there's attachment to outcome, the contraction happens and it doesn't release. It doesn't, because it's spontaneous. It's the deeper, truer nature, I don't know what it is, the energy of life opening to itself. And the moment there's contraction in the mind or control, it works against it. And it's the same with no good deed goes unpunished. Just do what feels good. If it's lovely for other people, if there's a loving nature that's expressing through life with other people, that's all that's happening. And that's enough. That's beautiful. But the moment there's an idea of, I might get something from this, I might, people might like me, or I'll feel better about myself, whatever it is, whatever the motivation is really behind that. Ultimately, I think it's beautiful, and I think it should continue and happen. There's nothing wrong with helping others. It's just the suffering doesn't need to come back as the punishment when when it's not rewarded the way you think it should be. That's it. So if no good deed goes unpunished means be generous, be loving, be kind, help others. Definitely. Especially if it's natural and just feels there's an impulse to do it. Maybe look at, is there any attachment to outcome, or do I expect a reward? Do I expect a benefit from this anyway? This is look where you don't want to look sort of thing. This is also looking at, because you don't really want to find out that you're doing it for reasons that are egotistical or so you get something from it. It's still good. It's still life harmonizing with itself. It's just that the suffering will come back to the one when inevitably something doesn't go quite according to their reward plan. So you can't control what another person is conditioned to do. So it's like a punishment, I suppose. But they're just circumstances that need to be navigated in life. Just still do kindly and lovingly what you feel is the correct way, and then just don't expect. And there's freedom in just the flow of life. And we're making a very simple summary of the story here. But getting back to that bigger picture, whatever is being expressed and interacted with in life is actually causing its own outcome. So there's an interaction there, and I'm not saying the person that rescues someone from a burning car has done anything that deserves to be, to have it thrown back in their face or sued for it. But we don't really understand the complexity of how all of this is being expressed and coming together. So just do what feels correct and kind and loving.